Howdy ho, neighborinos. Paul here. I'm hope you can hear me. I'm looking on I have another laptop because the last time I did this live, I couldn't see all the comments. So I think I was missing questions. So I have a second laptop off to the side. So I'm hoping I can catch myself and then I can see if I miss any comments or questions. So they are here. And all right, good to go. So hello, welcome. It's our second Q&A that I'm doing here. And this is just anything on drinking, alcohol, alcoholism, addiction, anything surrounding that. It's not just, and it could be cutting down, moderation, all that kind of stuff. Hey, Morgan. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. So I had a few questions. So I ask, ahead of time if you have any questions. I got a few, which is great. And if you have any questions that pop up as you're listening to this or watching this, by all means, just pop them in the comments. And now that I have my second laptop, I can look and not miss them. How's that? I'm actually interacting. It's the whole point of Facebook Live is to interact. So if I don't see the comments, I might as well have just done a video. Morgan, can you hear me? Since you're the only one right now? It's all good. All right, so I'm going to jump in. And if this is replay, can you just do the old hashtag replay? I would really appreciate that. And you can also leave any comments, any questions after the fact. Even if it's on replay, then I can answer them. So even if you missed this now, I can answer your questions. So thank you very much again. Thank you, Morgan. Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to jump in. That's my preamble. I'd sing, but I can't sing. Good Lord. All right, so the first one is, Dear Paul, I've been sober for 5.5 months now. Good job. And it's been challenging but good. I feel really good about myself and even started to lose a bit of weight, which is good. I've gained weight. I don't know what that is anyway. And it's been amazing how much I depended on alcohol to do things. My problem is that my boyfriend still drinks, and he drinks a lot. He says he supports me in my not drinking, but his actions don't say that. He argues with me if I ask him not to drink in front of me, or if I ask him to go with his friends at the bar instead of being at the apartment. He says it's his place too, and I should be the one to leave. He works at a bar, so he always comes home already been drinking and stays up late. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make it work. Any suggestions? Yeah, this is common. This is common that you have a couple who drink and one decides they don't want to drink anymore. And especially something in a marriage or a long-term committed relationship, this can cause a lot of strain, like a lot. There's a couple things going on here. For the person who is still drinking, understand that there's going to be resentment. There's going to be resentment on both sides. The person who is continuing to drink is going to have some resentment towards the sober person, in this case you, because, part of them, they've lost a drinking buddy. I know it sounds silly, but it does affect them because now they've lost another one of their drinking pals. And I've seen relationships like break up over this kind of thing. And so there's going to be that resentment. The other thing is, the person who's still drinking looks at the person who's sober now, and it's a mirror, it's a reflection. They know part of them feels like, maybe I should cut down too, or maybe I should stop as well. So they have that kind of thing in their face, and they take out that anger comes out towards the other person, and there is some self-loathing that happens a little bit, but not so much. So you get that barrage coming from one side. Now, being the sober person, of course, the resentment because, hey, in this case, like you say you support me, but your actions aren't matching up. It's not a match. And so short of, breaking things off, of course, we don't want to jump to that. And if so, Morgan, you should talk to Morgan if something she deals with this. Sharon, hello. Serge. Oh, Serge. Buddy, how are you? Nice to see you. So what to do? The first thing that comes up is boundaries. Okay, so when you stop drinking and it's important that it's important to you for whatever reason that you want to stop drinking, it's boundaries. And so it's not telling them that they can't drink. It's not telling them that you're not going to push them around. You're not going to get them to go on board. You can't make someone not drink that way. But you stated that it's so important. You say how important it is for you that they feel safe. You have to protect your own sobriety. That's the bottom line. Your sobriety comes first, and that trumps everything, because without that, you have nothing. And so one thing is boundaries. So for some people, they say having no alcohol in the home or the apartment. So that can be something that's a non-negotiable. No alcohol. If you want to drink, you go somewhere outside. Another one is it could be that if there is drinking at the home, that it's done. It could be in another part of the house. It could be at certain times, but you have the right. You have absolute right to create boundaries, like even physical boundaries. Like, this is my room. You don't come in my room if you're drinking. So that's one thing you can do as well. And it's really about when you're communicating with that person. It's not. First of all, I would suggest that you do it when they haven't been drinking. When they're kind of rough around the edges a little bit the next day, it's a good time. It's usually a good time. But definitely have the kind of conversations when they are sober. Don't bother getting into a fight when they're kind of, half hammered. It's just not going to end well. And the other thing I wouldn't do is to do the whole, if you loved me, you would stop drinking too, because that does not work. Let me tell you, emotional frothy appeal, as the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous would say, that wouldn't have worked with me. It doesn't work with a lot of people. So, and that creates more resentment, actually. So it's really about I statements. When you talk to them, say, I feel this, I feel that, I need to protect my sobriety. So these are the things that I need to have in place for us to be together still, but still respects me, and then that you can go and still have fun. So that's a conversation, though, that's specific to you and that you'll be able to have. But it's the first and foremost is having your boundaries, enforcing them, and then having the conversation and mapping out between the two of you. If he really does support you, then, because this is new. This is a new thing. The dynamics change. I've seen people where both were alcoholics, they both got sober, and the marriage fell apart because dynamics change. No matter what power, there's like sort of a power struggle, so to speak, and things shift. So this is, and give it time. That's the other thing too. Just give it time. There's gonna be a settling. Everything's gonna settle, and you guys are gonna have to figure out what your roles are in this relationship. So those are kind of some things you can do, but definitely set your boundaries, have the conversation when they're sober, use I statements when you talk to them, and then just give it some time. So I hope that helps. So Sharon says, hi, Paul, my partner stopped drinking in November. He's doing an amazing job. I have stopped drinking too, as I feel bad drinking in front of him. Is that the right thing to do? I don't drink a lot, in fairness. That's a great question, Sharon. I mean, that's something for you to feel. I mean, if you are coming from a place of love and support, then that's great. I mean, I'm sure he really appreciates that, and congrats to him for that, by the way. It just depends. I mean, if you feel guilt, it'd be good to question, I mean, I don't know if it's guilt or that's just decency or that's just, again, love and support. I'd be curious if he would feel uncomfortable if you had a glass of wine for dinner once in a while or something like that. You say you don't drink very often. So for you, it's probably not a big, it's not a big change in your life. But definitely, you can let him know as well. Let him know, listen, I support you. I love you. And, because I was feeling guilty. What do you think of that? And have a little bit of a conversation. Doesn't have to be a big thing, but again, from his point of view, that's lovely that you have decided to support him that way. And a lot of people do that, especially for partners that drink once in a while. It's not really a big thing. That's like if, my wife said she can't have Brussels sprouts ever again. I'm like, I'll be on that train. Now I love Brussels sprouts, but I don't have to worry about like, oh my God, I'll never have Brussels sprouts again, because it's just something I have once in a while. So, that's great, Sharon. Thank you so much. And that's a beautiful thing you're doing. And just, you do it for you. That's the thing. Do it for you. And if he gets that support from you on top of that, that's just gravy. Okay, I just want to make sure. Hi, Aaron. And Mark is here. And Shannon's here. Hi, Shannon. Patricia's here. This is lovely. I feel the warm fuzzies. Morgan says it's similar to when one person wants to get healthy, food, exercise, and the other isn't ready. That's a great point. Yes, absolutely. Protecting what we need for ourselves, regardless of our partner. Difficult, but necessary first step. And yes, we have to do what's best for us. Like, if you decide you're going to lose weight, if you decide you're going to eat healthy, you have to get to a certain point to make that switch. You might get to a certain bottom, like, maybe you hit a certain weight or you don't feel good about yourself, but everyone's different. Everyone's bottom, so to speak, is different. So just because we decide that we're going to get healthy or we're going to do this or we're going to do that, it doesn't mean that the other person is ready. And sometimes that's where further resentment is. It's like, well, if I'm doing it, you should do it. And it doesn't work out that way. So again, everyone's on a different timeline. And again, if we can support one another, that's great. But it's not always the case. And so that's where I was talking about earlier. It just takes time. And they may see, here's the thing, you may be the only example of a healthy, sober person that they know. So why not be that person, the person that says, that's what I want. And that they may come to it. They may see you after a while and go like, I want what she has. And they may make the switch. So this is giving the space. So thanks, Morgan. That's great. Sharon says that he tells me to have a drink. Sure. I mean, I'm the same with my wife. I'll say, have a drink, go ahead. It doesn't bother me. And really, it doesn't bother me. But she'll have a drink once in a blue moon in the house. Normally we have to throw the wine out because it goes bad. Never happened when I was out there. But that's great. Okay, I want to get to the next question. I've started dating after my divorce was finalized a few months ago. And with all the changes, I also decided that I was going to cut out drinking for a while. When do I tell my prospective dates that I don't drink? Oh, Morgan, we should talk about this one. When do I tell my prospective dates that I don't drink? Everyone always wants to meet for drinks. I'm uncomfortable going to a bar or pub right now. Okay, so that's a good one too. In terms of dating, it depends also on the reasons why you stop drinking. What's going on behind there. I think if you're someone like me who was an alcoholic and had to stop, it's not something, if I was dating, I'd just like bang, just right off the bat, hi, I'm Paul, I'm an alcoholic. I don't think that would be pretty cool. I don't think that'd be cool. I would wait till it kind of comes up organically. If you're going for dinner and you won't look at the wine list or something like that, then you can say, well, I'm living a sober lifestyle right now. I'm just going to have X, Y, Z. And that might get a conversation going, obviously. Now, if they said that they want to meet at a bar, it can be the same thing. Hey, you know what? I'm sober. I'm living a sober lifestyle or a non-alcoholic lifestyle. Can we meet somewhere else? Can we go for a coffee, or can we meet somewhere neutral where it's not necessarily alcohol driven? And that can be something as well. And so when you tell them, it doesn't have to be a thing. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just a small part. For us, when we get sober, it's a big thing. It's a big part. It's a big change. For a lot of other people, it's not. It's just a small part of their lives. And so you probably will find that most people are open to that. Now, if someone just shuts down, gets upset, well, they're not your kind of person then. That's not the person you want in your life, in your dating life. But if they're supportive and open about it, and they're like, yeah, we don't have to drink, most people don't care. Really, they don't. And so if they're just interested for you to meet you, then the drinking part is not going to bother them. But I would definitely bring it up in a more organic way, in a way that it's not to make a big deal out of it. Now, again, if they start making a big deal out of it, then that's, hello, red flag. How are you? That could be it. But really, it's up to you, because depending on the type of personality you have, the type of style that you have, that may determine how you talk to your date and what kind of date. So I hope that answers that. I don't know, Morgan, you might have a better take on that. Wayne, how are you? Nice to see you. Who else we got here? Oh, I said Shannon. Hi. All right. I have one more question. And again, if you have any comments or questions, just pop them in. If this is replay, just do that as well. Well, here's a very simple one. You probably can be here. Oh, you know what I meant to say? I had a list, actually. I forgot about this. A list of things you can do on dates that don't involve alcohol. And I had someone actually message me the other day asking about that too. And there's a couple of, you can go on a few sites, but some of the things was going for coffee, lunch, bowling, dance lessons, skating, going for brunch, taking a fitness class together, photography adventure, boat ride, improv show, wander a bookstore. I love that one. Visit a local fair or amusement park, picnic, playing board games, spa day. Not bad. So those are things, again, the whole bar, going for a drink thing doesn't always have to be that. Okay, so the last question is, how do I know that I'm a problem drinker or alcoholic? Woo! How much time you got? I'm not going to take that much time. Just make a distinction between a problem drinker and an alcoholic. A problem drinker, they can look very much the same. They can have all the DUIs, they can have all the marriage problems and relationship issues, they can have, all that kind of stuff going on. A problem drinker, given sufficient reason, can stop drinking. So this is a person that can drink a twofer, or as we say, a twofer up here in Canada, a twofer. If the wife says, I'm going to leave you if you don't stop now, or a judge says, if I see you in front of my court one more time, you're going to jail, or if the boss says, if you smell like whiskey again, you're going to lose your job. Given sufficient evidence or reason, a problem drinker can stop. An alcoholic, if given the old joke, if the judge says, if I see you here again, you're going to the brink, the alcoholic thinks, I wonder if they have 3 square meals there. We're already like planning. Wonder what rent is these days. An alcoholic is compelled to drink, and it's not just like that we can stop. Okay, so if you find that if you're going out, you can't control how many drinks you have, and you can't, you're unsure of even how, if it's a crapshoot every time you go out, if there's a whole list of things I can identify. In the end, I can't tell you if an alcoholic or not. You have to identify. And this is why in recovery, especially in 12-step, we share our stories. Because when you hear enough stories and you say, that's me, then you can self-identify. There's tons of, quizzes out there. Google, am I an alcoholic quiz? You'll get them all. And essentially it's you can look at the questions and they're very similar. I don't know how scientific, but they really get you to think. If you're starting to rearrange your life around drinking, you might be an alcoholic. If you, if you're waking up and that's your first thought, you might be. There's so many things that go into it, physical and mental and emotional. Brain chemistry. There's all sorts of other things that go on. But a problem drinker is someone that can stop without, let's say, a program or intervention. Now, having said this, a problem drinker, if they're drinking sufficiently for a long time, detoxing, stopping cold turkey can be very dangerous. If that's you or you know someone and they're a heavy drinker and they want to decide they want to stop, I would suggest they see a doctor and let them know. Detoxes are usually attached to hospitals for a good reason, because they have medical crew 24/7 and they have all the things to help people. Seizures is a very common thing. I know lots of people have gone through seizures when they stopped just like that, and even cardiac arrest, death. It's, I believe it's the most dangerous drug, if you want to classify alcohol as a drug. It's the most dangerous drug to come off of, worse than heroin, worse than all these kind of things. So if you are a problem drinker and you want to stop cold turkey and it's heavy drinking, I would suggest seeing a doctor, going to a hospital detox, and let them take care of you. When I went to detox, I wrote a thing in my book, and it was awful. That experience alone, that just keeps me with my coffee. It's a horrible thing to go through, and just knowing that there's people there to support me and give me pills to pop and all that kind of stuff, it makes a difference. So if you feel like that, yeah, you know what, I can probably stop, you might just be a problem drinker. If there's a lot more, and a lot of times alcoholics, they know. And I remember I'd pass by a mirror and just say, I used to call myself a lot of bad names, but I'd say, Paul, you're an alcoholic. You are just, without a doubt, And I think you just know. And that's important. And then that's where you can make that change. Dwan, Touchstones. Yes, Touchstones and Sober. This is a book. Actually, it's right here. This is a book that I suggested last time. It's daily study meditations for men. It can be for women too, but definitely it does talk a little bit about the things that men deal with in recovery. And he said that he says life-changing. Awesome. And Sober Curious was a book that I'd suggested on the last Q&A. And Shannon says, yes, if it makes them uncomfortable, may not be your tribe. Absolutely. And I believe we're talking about the dating. Wayne, doing a burlesque class. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And Doreen and Marilyn here, thank you. I wonder if rent is cheap. And Sharon, I'm just looking at the comments, sorry. Yeah, Sharon said she sat with her partner as he dried out. It is scary. I've got goosebumps now thinking about it because it is awful. Just the heart palpitations, the sweat. It's just, let's just leave it at that. I had the DTs, the delirium tremens, and which is I was hearing things. I thought there was a hockey game going on next door. I could hear the announcer and everything in the crowd. And then I found out later there was no TV nearby, and I saw blue bugs on the walls, and I was like, okay, so that's severe. So it can be scary. And Wayne said, yes, the people watching on the sideline hurts like hell as well for those we love. Okay, guys, so I hope that answers your questions. And like I said, thank you so much. Great comments and great interaction. If you have if you're on replay and you want to ask a question, pop it in the comments and I will make sure I get to it. So I'm hoping to do this once a week. So hopefully next week I'll commit. Next week, I'll be in LA next week. So I'll be in Dwan's neck of the woods. And so I'll try to get one in that week. So there's a delay on Facebook. So if there's anything, I'm just waiting if there's any last minute questions. If not, thank you guys. And we will talk next week. Final sip of coffee. Bye, guys. Thank you.